Hari Om, Jai Gurudev. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Sahaviryankaravavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Chaiva Tato Jayamudiraye. Hari Om. So developing, yeah, go ahead, Dr. Manana.
Go ahead, go ahead. I think we are again in the same pursuit. That's nice. I mean,
We're coming back with a bit of understanding of the whole Bhagavad Gita.
yeah.
So the perspective is a little different from when we actually read it the first time, because we're able to kind of understand it a little better, I guess, better clarity. Especially that he starts off saying getting a human life is such a blessing, because you have a freedom of choice. There's a faculty of choice, unlike animals where they only grow physically, they only mature physically, and then they survive and they die. A human being has this capacity to emotionally mature, and that emotional maturity is what we call um, the
Mental
faculty of
maturity.
choice, the faculty of free will.
Free will, yeah.
So that you can use your free will to go either way, to go either upwards towards moksha purushartha, which only a few people in every generation have. Everybody has artha and kama as their purusharthas. Dharma may not be. Moksha, very few. Artha and kama seem to be very basic for anybody. Universally, everybody seeks pleasure and security. Yeah, I would request everybody to share their takeaway. Maybe each one says, like we do in the happiness program, each one share one takeaway so that all of us are kind of participating. It's not passively, but actively.
So can I?
Yeah, go
Can
ahead, Mara.
Yeah.
Please.
So, like you said, that mental maturity is something we don't think of all that much, but that's more important. And then the using the free will to pursue these human pursuits. So that's this four of that artha, kama, dharma, and moksha, as you said, that one. And then the most importantly, I felt that I lack nothing, even though initially how Swamiji goes on explaining that people, I mean, we all feel like we lack something is universal. But then, we have to come out of that and saying that you lack nothing. He had given a lot of examples of uh, about that, the holding the bear and that water, when a person felt that he's holding on the log, but then
Yeah.
yeah, then he kind of continues. I mean, that's really nicely he takes, right? Who holds on to what or whatever that. Um, that again gives that explanation about this habits, right? Like alcohol drinking
Right.
or the food and other things, and then goes on to facts of insecurities. Anyway, that the take home point is that they lack nothing, and the attitude is always changing. And then we are looking always constantly for the changing part of it. and how we displeased ourselves, and those are good points too. So then that's where we come down to, when we are displeased, how that person go on to how, like, commit suicide, not live, want to live anymore. That's when the Vedanta comes. So where this Vedanta Vedanta is helpful, is tells you you're not lacking anything, and it converts all your pursuits into pursuit of the knowledge. So that was, think that was nice. And then you already went over other stuff.
Can I tell, Ramana?
Go ahead, Sureshji.
I liked the paragraph. I have forgotten. It was very early. That we blame the partner for insecurity or something like that.
It was insecurity plus insecurity does not give you security.
No. That was later on. Before that, he had one mention. Very, very nice. I have to look at it, but I really wanted to take photo. Immediately, it went off. He says, we want to find a scapegoat for our insecurity in the marriage.
Most commonly, the better half is that scapegoat. Yeah, which is probably
No,
true.
that was the paragraph. Let me go to that.
I liked that actually, really.
I feel that interdependence is a part of life, and certain things we take it for granted, and there when something
Here, dragging, that dragging, that.
You mean to say recreation?
Mm.
He talks of recreation, right?
Oh no, not this.
Not
I
this,
will not this.
What you mean is that where he finds a partner who is equally insecure, and then you're trying to find security in that partner when the partner is equally insecure. So this is not going to cause any security. It will only
Yeah, 1 + 1 is 2. It becomes 2 insecurity rather than not become secure. But I think the one he's talking about is.
Dr. Mara, your voice is not very clear. It's very thick.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe my speaker is too far. What I said
This
was.
one you wanted, okay. Scapegoat. Even though you may think your marriage or your job is your crisis, actually you are the crisis. Your crisis has nothing to do with marriage or any other situations in your life. Your tendency, however, is to find a scapegoat for every problem you have, and the immediate scapegoat available is often your partner in life. Is this what you're talking about, Sureshji? It is like we tend to hook on our negativity onto something. We feel insecure from within.
After marriage, I got into problems like that,
Yeah, this is the
many blame that way.
Correct.
So that is what we need, a scapegoat. I liked this sentence.
And if you remember the introduction to Atma Bodh that Swami Chinmayananda gave, there he says, we try to avoid confrontation with our own self by occupying our mind, engaging our mind outside of us. We find this distraction, that distraction. We don't want to stay with ourselves. That is what exactly Swamiji also said. He said, you spend some time with yourself. You don't need anybody else to be displeased with. You are displeased with yourself because you don't accept yourself.
That is what Guruji says, no? If you are getting boredom from yourself, how much boredom you will be for others?
Yeah, but understanding that subtly and deeply, are we able to stay? Are we happy? Are we kind of, no matter what, are you pleased with yourself? Are you accepting of yourself? Are you happy with yourself? By yourself, with yourself, both all together. That is true. That is the meaning of moksha. Whereas the mind always wants a distraction. That is why when you're by yourself, Swamiji, I think, mentions here, he said you can't stay quiet even for a few minutes. You want to go take a walk, or you want to go do some other activity. You want to keep your mind occupied because you cannot stay with yourself.
Nice, very nicely told. Okay, good.
That is why I think as a practice, as sadhana, it is important for all of us. Of course, when we meditate, we're doing just that, but consciously, if we can withdraw ourselves from activity and just be with ourselves for a few minutes, I mean, every few hours of our day, of our waking state, if we can just withdraw from whatever activity, mental, physical activity, and just stay there in that space of calm, I think that will also aid in our progress. Otherwise, the mind is constantly in this either multitasking mode, or wants to do this and that, goes on thinking. There is no refrain from the activity. There's so much in the rajas, wanting to do.
Actually, I started similarly. I have read that 7 spiritual ways to become success by Deepak Chopra.
Mm.
He says, right when you get up, at least be silent for 2 to 3 hours. Start with that. Don't start immediately, Then means being yourself. Slowly learn that way. That was my first step, which I had read very, very long back. And when I was a student, about 15, 16 years. So that's how slowly it came to. Very nice it is. Actually, that's I always give to many young people to read that, because it is very, very nicely written. Deepak Chopra's 7 spiritual ways to be successful. You can find it, very nice small book.
What I'm going to practice is, because for me, my biggest, should I say, habit is, it is not me having the mobile, but the mobile having me. It is the WhatsApp. So for me, from today, I'm going to consciously not look at the WhatsApp for at least some period of time. Of course, being in the position I am, I have my patients WhatsApping me, sometimes from the organization, when courses are happening. So it is inevitable. But consciously, I'm going to withdraw myself from habitually going to the mobile and checking the WhatsApp. I think that's going to be my practice.
From
that I would
today.
want to do. From today, going to do that.
that inspires us also. Okay,
Otherwise,
good.
we are doing everything. We're reading all of this, but unless we actually start implementing it, consciously we start implementing what we have learned and understood, then we'll go back to square one. It is like the dog's tail. Dog's tail, how many ever times you try to straighten it out, it will come back to its curved nature.
Therefore, in advanced course, they say, no, don't even look at the books. Don't even look at anything. Everything cut off. That is the best way of starting it. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes, Didi, I also started doing this, keeping away from my phone, especially WhatsApp. So, what we do is, if we are going out, my husband and me, between two of us, one of us carry phone, because only for the connect from family, and children, and I mostly keep it back. So, it is so relieving, it's
Yeah.
really relieving.
True. This is very true.
I have made it into a habit. The phone keeps ringing even when our course is on, our class is on. But I just don't look at the phone. It's somewhere else. I just hear it ringing. I don't look at it. I was about to say before Brahmaji started that Brahmaji started. When we look at to our various pursuits, Artha, Kama, and Dharma, mostly now our pursuits are on the phone. And very rightly said that one needs to give that up. And yes, I just keep the phone. I don't answer calls. I don't even go to look who called. Everything can wait. No, we are in this
Correct.
class right now, and we can always call back people.
True, very true.
I become, it's become a weapon of mass distraction.
Absolutely. It is like that alcoholic example Swamiji gave.
Yeah,
Initially, he has the drink, but ultimately the drink has him. So who holds on to what? Are we holding on to the phone, or the phone is holding on to us? Has a hold on us? For me, I can very honestly say the phone has a hold on me. So from now on, I'm going to reverse the table and turn the tables out consciously. I know I might slip back into that habit, but I will do it.
yeah, the world is not going to come to an end, and why give ourselves so much of importance that we have to carry the mobile. So many times when I go for a walk and all that, I don't carry my mobile with me. If somebody has to contact me, I'll always come back after my nature walk and I'll contact them.
The mobile is called cell phone. The reason for the cell phone?
It's there in every cell of your body.
No. Cell is also called prison, right? Prison is also called.
Right.
So it's like we are in that prison. That's why it's called cell phone. It has put you in a cell now.
Exactly.
And as Brahma said, it is all in our whole cells, complete body through each cell.
Like someone said, we live in different dimensions. For me, I can speak of myself. My life's dimension seems to be so restricted by the mobile, because you're living in that dimension with WhatsApp messages, with the social media, with whatever. It is only limited to that dimension. I think I have to break myself free of that.
Like Gurudev said,
not only you, we should do everyone.
All of us should do.
Yeah, one thing I want to share that these WhatsApp or see for our sadhana seva satsang also we are using this extensively. So see our minds how they are so tricky. In the name of sadhana seva satsang also we are using this mobile and these gadgets to our advantage or disadvantage, and allowing it to work on our mind so much and corrupting our mind. That's what I feel. It is important because today our sadhana also happens in the group sadhana, our seva also happens, knowledge also. Just now we are using this WhatsApp also continuously, simultaneously we are seeing कुछ registration आया क्या, course announce करना है, intro, and so many things are going on in the mind. So that slow down and cool down is so important. Underline when we do it in Sanyam, and all of us need to really aggressively do something to really restrict this gadget dependence, because otherwise thoda time ho gaya, we become so easy and immediately we want to scroll. What is this? This is dominating us. This has become a bigger than ourselves. That is something dangerous, I think so, in the name of sadhana seva satsang.
Who is holding who?
At least what I have started practicing for some time is like Gurudev said, no, in the morning after getting up for maybe a couple of hours, no, I don't look at the mobile. Same way before going to bed, again, if you can have that 1 hour gap, I don't think 1 hour gap, but, from sleeping for some time.
Vijayji, your voice is
During the
breaking.
day, because of something. Sorry, yeah,
Your
network issue.
voice is breaking.
But what an agony we are saying all of this over the phone or on the laptop. We are discussing about this. I think it's this is such a powerful technology. Only because of this we are getting the knowledge. But I think the misuse of it we should be avoiding. We should not should not use it to. Uh, on the other hand, I have to get into habit of seeing my mobile very often. This kind of a thing is my lifestyle.
It is that
To
Uddaret
me,
Atmanatmanam, where your mind is your friend as well as your enemy. We have to befriend the mobile. Use it for its, for our pursuit of moksha, rather than take us
yes.
deeper to artha and kama and the other pursuits.
And just now Vijayji was saying, no, for first 2 hours he doesn't see the mobile. For me and Brahmra, I think it is the first thing we have to do it.
Yeah, but yeah, correct. I agree.
What
There
I
has,
do is that even with WhatsApp groups, I may be having in certain groups 200, 300 messages that accumulate. One fine day, I just open the group, go and clear chat, and I don't even read it. I mean, what is so important about, certain, we happen to be in so many groups because people put us there because we are teachers or something. But it's not necessary to read everything. Everything is not important. I see people coming to satsangs and they are scrolling down their mobile, even as teachers. I mean, then what example are you setting if you are doing that? The first thing I do is I put my volume off so that I don't disturb anybody. There are no calls coming in. Then I just don't look at my mobile at all during the satsang, the Guru Puja.
that's a wonderful thing to do. There's something called FOMO. I think most of us must be aware of. FOMO is fear of missing out. So this fear of missing out is what keeps us, um, you know, logged on to our phone, social media, because you don't want to miss out on anything. Whereas I think Vijay, what's his name? Vinod Menanji recently made a little video on this. He says he had addressed this FOMO issue. From that, he says, from FOMO, you should go to JOMO. JOMO is joy of missing out. So you should derive the joy of kind of getting out of WhatsApp groups and, not wanting to, like how Percy G so beautifully said, not caring about, it's not like you're doing it out of a sense of irresponsibility, but a sense of responsibility to your own peace of mind and lack of distraction. Otherwise, the mind can go. See, one sentence, one thing, the mind is such a tricky monkey mind. One thing is enough. As it is, we have to exhaust so many vasanas. I don't know how many vasanas over the years, different lifetimes we have had. All those raga and dveshas. So every other sensory input we get through the phone is actually adding on to our vasana bag, which is not what we want. We want to exhaust them. So in doing that, that is why Gurudev says, Antarmukhi Sada Sukhi. This
No,
phone
when
is
you
like
say
taking you
fear
Bahir
of
Sukhi.
something,
Huh?
sorry. No, I said when you say fear of missing out, I mean, if there is something urgent, that person is going to get in touch with you, come what may. Suppose somebody is organizing an advanced course for you, he will find ways and means of getting in contact with you. So then he will reach out to you. he'll phone you or something. So on all this WhatsApp, 400, 500 messages coming in a group, just clear chat it. Set your priorities right. Mobile is meant for your this thing.
Use.
You are not a slave of it. Like
When I look back, beautiful are those days when you had only a landline number, no mobile. I think that our life without the mobile was so, it was happier. We just had a landline and you had to go walk towards the phone to pick up the phone and answer it. I think there was more exercise also involved and it was beautiful. But with this advent of the mobile, not only it's of course has its advantages, no doubt, but the disadvantages far outweigh the advantages. If you know, if you're a slave to it.
Yeah, we have been sold to our cell phones.
Correct. The smartphones have become smarter than us and they've outsmarted us. So that is some sadhana that we'll do today, from today onwards.
Hari Om. It was very nice discussion right now. It was very nice. We just have to accept that it is mithya or gauna pratyaya, the way we have our body, physical body. Just like that, the gadgets are also the same. Another thing, I love the way Swamiji has put the sarcasm for the second head that I so much loved. You know, we ask for the things which are, I mean, and the God is so compassionate, He gives also, Guru or God, whatever. But it is like we are not able to manage even our one head, and the second head, even if it is given, I mean, how difficult it becomes for us. So I love that sentence of Swamiji.
And
Also,
also,
God saying that where do you want to put it? Because you already have one over your shoulders. You want the second head, you please say where you want to put it. That was also very, very, brought me a lot of
second head is your Google.
thinking.
Google everything.
whatever you need will be given to you. You need not even ask for it. So many times Gurudev has said this.
Yes, and there's a YouTube shorts also, no? Gurudev saying, you want to grab. If nothing, you come onto the spiritual path and want to grab more knowledge. If I find that shorts, I'll share it in the group.
yeah.
It's very similar to this discussion.
That is the life of a karma yogi, no? Living life, understanding that what you need will be given to you, number one. And whatever is happening to you, you're in total acceptance. You do not want to change the consequence of whatever has happened, or the result of your action. More often than not, we are always manipulating the world, people outside, to suit our needs. We're in this constant manipulation mode. That is why you don't like something in your spouse, you want him or her to change, and that will make you happy. So with or without that, in spite of that, you being happy is living life like a karma yogi.
Just like to share something. From 23rd, I don't have internet connectivity on my router, which is a Geo fiber. Geo is a company that belongs to the Ambanis. Very powerful house. I have made about 10 complaints to them. My TV, everything is connected to that. And I'm not disturbed at all. I just keep on doing. Purusharth karna hai. I kept on doing what had to be done, complaining, the engineers came, everything. Yesterday, I went to the center and talked to one of the leading people there. And he was so this thing towards me, senior citizen coming, I'm so sorry, this, that. And it's bent on resolving. After I came home, also in the evening, he phoned twice as to where he had reached with the issue that I'm facing. I have paid in advance for the whole year 14,000 rupees for the router connection. And this has happened, maybe some technical glitch, somebody has left your organization, done something somewhere, he has done a lot of mischief. But that's okay, like my mind is not disturbed. And what is needed for me is given to me. It's like this. One volunteer who heard about it came and gave me a dongle which I'm using right now on my laptop. I've never used a dongle in my life. But he just taught me how to do it. It's connected and I'm having net without my home router working. So
Wow.
what is necessary for us is just given to us. We don't need to do anything about it. Why our mind gets disturbed over small little issues? I'm without TV, I'm happy. Nobody's watching TV at home.
So beautiful. I'm just reminded of that shloka in chapter 2. Apuryamana machala pratishtam samudramapa pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashanti mapnoti na kamakam. It is like a fulfilled person, all his desires, as though like river waters entering the ocean, they they enter him and he is complete. He's with or without the river water, he is complete, he is full, like the ocean is full. So unasked for, you've got your dongle, you've got your internet connection. Very beautiful, Persiji.
And also, I told you I was not liking the way my son, who's deaf from birth, made the notes for me. He used two different fonts and all that. All that happened. And then I met one of my volunteers came over and said, come on, let's transform this into a PowerPoint presentation. And yesterday we sat and did half of it. Of course, I had to go away to Guru Puja, so he has messed up a little. Let's see how we can get that done. Like I
Yeah,
think the
that is
notes of
still
5
pending,
pranas.
Persiji.
Yeah. Now the PowerPoint presentation is getting ready. Then
Fine.
probably it will be.
We'll do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
So I'm
remember.
making it with my volunteer who knows it. And he used to work for Bombay Motors, where they sold Mercedes cars at 60 lakhs and 1 crore and all that. He's right now suffering from Parkinson's. So he's laid off, but he wants work. And I need somebody to do my work. So I know it just happens. People just come up to me wanting to give a helping hand.
But Guruji says, no, before you wish, your desires are fulfilled. That is what it is.
Very nice.
So all this yearning and desires and all that, we really, I think the ultimate goal is dropping desires, cravings, and aversions. And I think that is my idea of moksha. I don't know. Moksha actually is a combination of two words, mo, kashai. Mo means desire and shai means destroying them. So mo, kashai is moksha.
That is where he says, no, any action is prompted by a desire. Without a desire, no action is possible. And you always desire an end, an object and end. So for that, you need to know what you want to desire. So there is that knowledge of what you want before you start desiring. Therefore, moksha is what it is. It is a desire for liberation, desire from freedom from lack. So that means you know what your object of desire is, that you know that you are free, but the only problem is that we are covered by that vikshepa of ignorance, when we don't know that we are free. So there was a time when we knew we are free, but when we are born into this world, we are covered by that ignorance, and therefore we get into the moha of the world outside. It is said, I think Nana had shared some time back, that in the womb, apparently the baby is almost like a liberated soul, the fetus. And he says, this is it, enough is enough, I'm going to free myself the moment I'm born. But the moment the baby is born, there is that the veil of delusion that covers it, and he forgets all those the pratigna that he had taken before in the fetus.
That one nadi gets closed while being taking the birth. One nadi gets closed.
So, just like yadhol bena vrito garbha tatha tenedam avritam. So just like how the fetus is covered by the amniotic sac, or the smoke covers the fire, there's ignorance. For people who are sadhaks, the veil of ignorance starts getting thinner and thinner. And it is the Vedanta acts as a mirror of words, the pramana. All those words, tattvamasi, aham brahmasmi, prajnanam brahma, all those are like a mirror of words that help you see your own reflection. So therefore the Vedanta is so important. So, yeah. So basically, the problem is you. You are the problem, and therefore you are the solution. The world is not your problem. It is you.
So when we talked about the problem, then there were two kinds they talked about, right? Like one
Yeah.
is outside of the problem and the inside real problem. But the examples were good, like how that explanation is you are the problem and you are the solution. Like when you're cold, you are trying to use
Cover
the
yourself.
blanket to cover yourself. Same way, like you're hungry, you eat the food, and so there's nothing other person can do for you, right? That's something you can solve. Similarly, I think that solving the jigsaw puzzle,
Yeah.
that's also like you can solve. Basically, we have to give it a lot of thought or think it through, so hopefully we find ourselves solving it instead of putting it on somebody else.
So that is why here he says very clearly, when like the jigsaw puzzle, the solution is within the problem. There is no problem, in fact. The only problem is you, and the solution is also you. When you do not understand something, it is a problem for you. Whereas when you do understand, there is no problem. So here the understanding is the solution.
Right.
So that is why knowledge becomes so important. And now in the light of this, where all the last few days we read about the Purva Pakshi talking of karma being the means for moksha, we understand so clearly that it is knowledge that is important. Knowledge is the one that helps. And in the vision of Vedanta, self is acceptable. What else do you really want? The only problem any human being is self non-acceptance. And it can be a game, fun all the way. This then is the teaching. That is why being dispassionate, Swami Gurudev also says, it need not be serious. You don't need to grow a long beard and be serious and not smile and have a long face. No, it can be celebrative. This whole thing of moksha purushartha can be celebrative. He says, no, somewhere in the end, I think he says, with moksha, you can also pursue artha and kama. There is nothing preventing you from doing that. But with this as a backdrop. And coming back to that childlike state, I was just remembering, I'm so happy and fortunate. I feel so blessed to be working where I am as a pediatrician, because, you know, when I have a 4 to 6 month old baby that comes, I spend a little more time, provided I don't have another patient waiting, just looking into their eyes. They're so gleeful, they're so happy. Without any reason, they are just happy. And that energy that they exude around, that innocent energy, is so full of unconditional love that it's a marvel, it's a wonder, really. And how from that state we grow into getting all this muck into our heads. We develop all these complexes and we develop ego, and you know, that is why Gurudev keeps saying, I'm a child that refuses to grow up. Just coming back to that innocent state is actually one way of looking at freedom. Coming back to that innocence.
That what that we know about the moksha, but we forgot about it. Probably so. We are
Hariom,
free.
I just felt that stage comes back very late. You know, when I look at my in-laws, they are old, but they are just like kids. That state does come. I mean, that same innocence, same enthusiasm, same. That's what I feel, that it is very beautiful. Bachpan, and we say in Gujarati, Balpan, Ghadpan.
We call it Maro Balyam. In Telugu, it is called the second Balya, second infancy, so to say. But then the second infancy comes with a little difference. See, your first infancy, you're without raga and dvesha. You're like free from that, no? So to say. But whereas in the second, in old age, usually we are kind of so kind of strongly bound to our raga and dvesha. We have certain likes, certain dislikes, and then our reactions, responses to the world outside are defined by our raga and dveshas. They have innocent right, but then
yeah, please go ahead.
No, that's all I wanted to say. That may be the only difference.
I just differ in that your surrounding people make a lot of difference, Brahmaraji. They do have raga, dvesha and all that. But how you respond to them, they are just like kids when you make them understand that it's okay if someone has not given you this respect or they have not acknowledged you, it's okay. So they come back, they become that, I mean, they get that innocence, they have that innocence that, okay, just like kids when you tell them, no, it's okay in the school if some fight happens. But it is, believe me, it is the same innocence which is coming back in the old age.
Out of frustration that happens many times. They are helpless that time. Therefore, they resort to it that way.
Yeah.
Jai Gurudev, I think in old age, they can express themselves, the unhappiness or whatever the agony. But the kid is just blissful. It doesn't care what it is happening or what is not happening. That's a difference.
True. Exactly.
And when in old age, the body has grown. So the people around, they don't consider it as a balyavastha. Whereas the infant, we see that, oh, it's so beautiful and this and that. Yeah, that's it. Jai Gurudev.
As far as infant is concerned, okay, but child, I think adults put them through such a lot of stress, whether it be through their academic upbringing or debating or sports or education competitions or whatever. Sometime back, years back, Baba and Dinesh had done a study in school and colleges when Guruji told them to do something for the youth. And it came out that most of them treated their parents like devils. They made them draw something to reflect their parents, and they all drew them with devil's horns, etc. And the parents have a feeling that they are doing their best for the child, but how much of pressure that the children are being put through is our desires over what they should be or how they should. It's not like another life on the universe. It has just come through your womb. It is like you own that person. He has a life of his own. Everyone comes first. Who will come last? So I think children are under a lot of stress with their immediate family members.
Like Khalil Gibran very beautifully said, your children are not your children. They are God's creation that have manifested through you. And you are just the guardian, the custodian.
We should not say children, we should say infant. Infant is really a God. Children, again, they get some ego, according to the circumstances.
What I meant was when Percy G was talking about how parents impose and put a lot of stress on their children, with that in mind, I agree. Infants like 6 months and less, they are closest to that innocent, unconditional love. They are.
I think, yeah, up to the age of 3, I think they don't have that me mind thing. And after age of 3, this is what once Guruji had said.
No, Mrinal, age is now we are in the IE age or I age. It's all fast advancing. From 9 months on, they hooked on to the. It is so sad to see how parents are using this, we call it e-nanny. The child is crying and then they just shove the phone in front of them.
Very unfortunate.
The child, a 9-month-old, is hooked onto the mobile. So the times have changed a lot.
True. But yesterday I was reading about this, how your relation should be with your kids. And Guruji was saying, yes, after age of 16, you should treat him like a friend. But then it's like loosening your reins to the horse. When you're riding the horse, loosen the reins. But the control is still in your hand. Where it goes wrong, you have to hold the reins. So he's never said that you just let them do whatever they want. If he's going wrong, you have to correct them. This is what I feel. Yes, they have their own personalities, but as a guardian, you might have to do that duty. If they are going wrong, you have to correct them.
Yes, Mrinalji. Swami Vimalanandji, Brahmaraji, if you remember, we had attended. He said, no, just like potter, you have to be with the kid. Like potter, where if you see when it is molding the pot, he is patting from outside and inside both. So it is a very skillful art.
Yeah, loosen the lesson so that he runs. But if he's going wrong, you have to tighten the reins. Tell him not to go to the right, left, the wrong path he is going to. You have to hold the reins.
And as parents, we have to create such an atmosphere and openness where, when in need, the child comes back. You can loosen the reins. Let them, unless they make mistakes, they don't learn. At the same time, they need to know that there is a place called home, that parents, they can always come back to. That openness has to be there so that they come back. Because it is said, and it is true, that God cannot be everywhere, so he made parents. It is because after God, it is only parents who love their kids as much as, and they mean the world to them, isn't it? The only thing is parents may not express it in the way it should be expressed. Sometimes it may be a little different based on their upbringing, but then that fact cannot be negated at all. The love that parents have for their children cannot be negated. So I think once we create that space for them, they will come back eventually. And yeah, and ultimately we are again governed by our prarabdha, isn't it? When you look at the karma angle. So with all this in mind, we as parents should be in a better position to relate to our children. Yeah, good.
Unfortunately, what we do is that they may go out and do something wrong. The action is wrong. They are not, we try to blame the children for their actions. You are devil, you have done this, you have had a beer or something and come home. Ultimately, he's come and told his parents the truth that he experimented with a beer or he experimented with a cigarette today. He didn't like it. He coughed. So he's telling the truth. He's still sharing with you. The action he indulged in was ugly. It was bad. So the action is bad. You didn't like the action. Don't say, I don't like you. You are bad. The child is not bad. He simply experimented. Otherwise, then he stops sharing with you.
I would like to share something over here. Like, I know a family, very close relative of ours, and they were very open to kids. Like, okay, you want to experiment with having beer with us? Okay, they used to sit together. Okay, instead of he going outside, let's have it at home. Why don't, I mean, it's nothing wrong. And they were that open, and I know them very well. That's why I can tell this. And uh, the parents were quite sober, but the child lost his control. He got addicted to it, and he blames his now parents for introducing him to alcohol. See, I mean, there are stories from both sides, and he was complaining to me that this is what my parents did. They introduced me to this thing, and I have got addicted. Such substances are addictive. If they are not in, and how do you know the child is weak? If his mind is weak, he is going to get addicted. So I don't know where to draw a line, how open you should be, and you
No,
don't
it's
know
all,
how the child, how strong and weak
No.
in his
What I am
mind.
saying is that you don't call the child bad. The action that he indulged in was bad. You didn't like the action that he undertook. You can tell him that it has caused you a lot of pain and suffering that he indulged in that. Don't call him bad is all that I'm saying. The action he indulged in was bad. Draw the line, yes, but don't call him bad. The action was bad.
Yeah, that's right.
See, you do not approve of certain things, but you do not stop accepting the person. So, and here with respect to this openness and all that, I think dharma should be your compass. Dharma should be the moral compass of any parent when dealing with their children. So what is right, what is wrong should be clear in the minds of the parent. Then you'll be able to guide your child correctly. And then you'll be able to tell your child, first you accept him and tell him, see, what you're doing is not right. It is not like I reject you because of what you did, but your action, like what Percy ji said, your action is not what I approve of. I still will love you. I still will hold you dear to me, but I do not approve of your actions.
that is true for everyone, madam. It is not
Yeah.
only for child.
Yeah.
Only the actions. That is what true for everyone. Okay, child is very close. We know it, but for everyone it is same. the action. We cannot hate the person. We have to say that whatever he is doing is wrong, not the person is wrong.
See, even when it comes to punishment, like a child throws tantrums. Now, many a times in Indian houses, we lock the child up in a room and see the kind of fear phobia he goes into, and he throws up more tantrums. My wife used to do the reverse. She would say, if you don't stop the tantrum, then she would go and she would lock herself in her room. I'm not coming out. So, the penalty is imposed on the parent, not on the child, for the child throwing up the tantrum. And very soon you will find that the results will be far superior. The action is wrong, the child is not bad.
Hate the sin, not the
Don't
sinner.
look upon the child as bad. If the child comes home drunk, as somebody mentioned just now, fine. His action is wrong. See, if you go into a confrontation, you have become like this. No. Rather, if you show that you are pained, you are suffering because of his action, there is no confrontation there. He may want to stop. But if there is an argumentative and a confrontation approach, I want to control your drinking, he may end up doing it more. Just understand that he says, I don't like the home atmosphere. My parents are always cribbing about my habits. So he will go for enjoyment outside and he'll indulge in that habit a little more probably. How you handle the situation is very important without making the child feel like a worm. A teenager is a teenager. He's going to do something. He's going to experiment.
Well, that is where I.
Shall we do it for the day?
Yeah, we'll wind up for the day. But this is where, before we end, with respect to teenagers, the YES program comes in, and it is so good. It is, it is. It's filled with all this knowledge that is required for this child. So rather than, see, prevention is always better than cure, isn't it? So rather than get them into habits because of their experimentation, because of peer pressure and all that, if you can prevent them, if you can create this sense of morality in them, what is right and what is wrong, smoking is not to be done, alcohol not to be taken. And if they have this strong moral compass, no matter where they go, that will guide them. And that is where the YES program has such a value. So getting as many teenagers to do this is one solution to this problem, rather than having to deal with people who are into addictions.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is very much necessity.
Yeah.
This time, because even parents are lost. They don't know what is right and wrong to teach because they haven't got in touch with this kind of knowledge. The modern philosophy they follow, like, let kid do whatever it wants to do. Even they need some guidance, and these courses are the best for the child,
Right.
especially before they leave your house to go
Right.
and study somewhere else.
And this is where it comes back to the first paragraph Swamiji starts today's introduction with, of emotional maturity. See, as a human being, you can eat, live, sleep, drink, make merry, and die. But the emotional maturity comes in with a little bit of understanding, and that requires knowledge. And that is where art of living comes in. That is where Gita comes in. Unless you know, you would not go forward and become emotionally mature. No? So I think we'll wind up today with this. We had a very useful discussion. We went from a lot of topics today. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Gurudev.
Dhanyavad
Thank you.
Brahma.
Good day, Doctor.